Well, that was nice,
That
wasn't
was
it?
really nice, actually. It was adorable.
Did you
So
like it?
cute.
Did you like it, Maria?
I did. I
Did you
want to watch more. It was adorable.
did you like it more than Fairytale?
Oh, hell yeah. Oh, hell yeah.
Oh, for Anime April, we decided to watch one of my favorite shows of all time,
Uh huh.
A Place Further Than the Universe.
Yeah, and I had never heard of this one,
Of
as
course you
usual.
haven't. Yeah, it's anime. What anime have you actually heard of?
The ones that everyone talk about,
Exactly.
like Naruto,
Yep.
and I watched Full Metal Alchemist, so I know about that one
But
and the
that's a
tragedy
good series though.
that is the Chimera episode.
We'll talk about that later.
Too soon.
Too soon. Yes. Anyway,
Anyway,
yeah, we watched episode 1 yen for youth,
uh huh.
and episode 2, Kabukicho Fremantle.
Yes.
Original release dates are January 2nd and 9th, 2018. Series director Atsuko Ishizuka. Script by Juki Hanada. And it was produced by Studio Madhouse. Okay, Maria, now you can talk.
Hi. I get to speak finally.
My God. All right, Maria, you can speak now. You can give us the summary.
The summary, yes. Okay. This was a really cute episode. Cute series, but we start off with Kimari, who is the main girl, whose mom basically waterboards her to wake her up, essentially. Um, Tell me I'm wrong.
You're not. She says the same thing in the series.
And I'm surprised it took her that long to wake up, to be honest. Like, if someone puts a wet cloth on my face when I'm asleep, I'm waking up instantaneously. But it takes her a minute. And her room's supposedly a mess, and just like she wakes up and she crashes into something, and her diary falls out, and she realizes she hasn't done any of the things that she wanted to do when she started high school. So like miss class and go on an unplanned journey, which is the weird, like who does that in high school? I don't know. Anyway, yeah, so she goes to school, and she realizes that she could just skip a class and it's not that big of a deal. And she decides that she's gonna take a train in the opposite direction to school, but she chickens out and goes back to school, and her friends are like, what happened? I did everything. I called the school and I was ready to take down the homework and everything. What happened? And she was like, well, the train could have crashed, or the meteor could have hit, or in a nutshell, she was just a chicken. And on her way back home, she sees this girl run past her, and an envelope falls out of her bag. And Kimari picks up this envelope, and she sees there's 1,000,000 yen in it. And she tries to, the next day, she spends most of the day trying to find this girl who has like super long black hair, and apparently has great conditioner. I don't even know, guys. Anyway, if Kibari were a guy, that would be a hell of a lot more creepy. So she finally finds this girl in school, and she finds out that her mother had gone on an expedition to Antarctica and disappeared, and so now she wants to go and find her mother in Antarctica, and that's why she's been saving up 1,000,000 yen. And Kimari decides that she wants to join her because she's a chicken and she needs friends to motivate her. So, and tries to find a job so that she can pay for the expense of like traveling. And so the girl in black hair, her name is Shirazi.
Shiraisi?
Shiraisi. I watched the dubbed version, so I was just trying to read as fast as possible. Anyway, and so they sort of start looking for a job, for Kimari, and Kimari finally finds a job, and turns out that the person that she's working with has been kind of sort of stalking her and Shirasi, because they were talking very loudly one day, and she's like, I want to come too, and they find out that she doesn't go to high school, and that she wants to join them. And so where do they go, James? What city is it? Do they go to Tokyo?
Yeah, it's in Tokyo.
Okay.
It's,
so they try to. So according to their plan, they're supposed to seduce some guy so that he can smuggle them onto the expedition. And instead of seducing a guy, they catch the attention of a couple girls who are part of the expedition and who know Shirasi because she's tried again and again to go onto the expedition. And so there's a chase scene, and Kimari is having too much fun for someone who's being chased by someone else. And they I guess eventually they split up, the three of them who were being chased by two other people, and then as usual they crash into each other after a while. And they sit down with these two other women and talk to them. And essentially, Shirazi is like, I have 1,000,000 yen, and I will become a sponsor, if this expedition is failing. And she said, no, we're fine. You keep the money, but if you really, really want to come, then you should be is it Fremantle?
Yes.
On December 1st. And essentially, yeah, that's basically what happened in both the episodes. Mm-hmm. Did I miss something out?
Not really.
Yeah, in a nutshell, that's what happened.
Yes. Well. It's
just a really pretty show to look at, James.
It really is. And unlike Fairytail, it had really pretty backgrounds and really pretty animation.
Yeah, no, definitely. And the background and the animation didn't feel like superimposed like it did for Fairytail. It felt very seamless.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's because it has lighting, Mariya.
Yeah, the lighting is just really nice, and the color palette is just very pleasant to look at. And these girls, they just have such distinct personalities, and it's just, they're so adorable in their own way. And they're just, yeah.
What does that mean?
That's just how I feel, James. They're just, they're just adorable.
Okay. Yeah, it's a really pretty show, and it's one of my favorite shows of all time. I love it. I love it so much. There's so much emotion and energy.
There is. There's the one character, the one that they meet afterwards, Hinata. She has so much energy. It's freaking. I can't even, like, she's just, and I love her hair. Like, of all of the three that we've seen so far, I love her hair the most.
Okay.
I don't know, it just looks really, really adorable. And it's not like they're weird, like an abnormal, like, anime hair too. They're like in weird, like, pinks and then like absurdly red shades or something. These are just normal hair colors, and it's just adorable. Like, everything about it is so very, like, real. But still manages to keep a sort of fantastical outlook to it, especially since their battery never goes down for some reason. God. or that, or Japan has chargers everywhere.
It might.
That is, you know what? That is also possible. So can't really omit that. But it was just so pretty to watch, James.
Yes. It had so many, not just like animation. It was good. It was very well directed.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to say a lot with TV animation that it's well directed. Like,
Right.
I'm trying to think back at most of the shows that they didn't have that great shot composition. I'd say Gargoyles is probably the best one that comes to mind, but that has, Disney money behind it and Disney resources.
Right.
So it's kind of unfair to say that. But this one, like, when she finds the $1,000,000 yen,
right.
it's a shot of her, and behind her, there's just a board that says "Win 1,000,000 yen." So you don't even have to have her say, like, "Oh my god, it's 1,000,000 yen."
Right.
The shot tells you what it is.
Found. Yeah. Yeah, there's some nice sort of juxtaposition happening over there. It was just, yeah, I noticed that, and I was like, gosh, that's just so clever, clever. Also the tear animation, because that's one of the notes that I put down. Just like, oh my god, they're just like these round balls just rolling off their face. And it adds to the adorableness of the whole animation. It's just so cute.
Yes. This is kind of part of a genre in anime, which is cute girls doing cute things.
Right.
Which there's enough of those to be a genre in and of itself for some reason.
Right.
This is better than all of them put together, but
Yeah.
It's a interesting, like, cultural thing where let's take these cute girls and make them do something and make them look as cute as possible.
Right. I mean, and just the amount of detail in those tears too, because you could see like the highlights, the light highlights on those tears.
There's lighting in this show.
Yeah, there's a reason that they look so round and like big, and it's because the lighting and the highlights is so good on those. And those are just tears that are gonna be on the screen for like half a second maybe. And still they just was like, okay, we gotta make these tears look good, and they better look good. Like that's what it's like. I mean, they're gonna be on the screen for like a couple seconds max.
Yes.
And still they were like, we gotta make this look like actual round tears, you guys.
We have to actually animate the tears, damn it.
Yeah, we can't compromise the tears, damn it. Capitalize
we're gonna reuse the animation for them, but it's fine.
Yeah.
We're gonna make them look as good as possible. Yeah, the usual tried and true method in anime is to just have like streaks of blue going down the character's face.
Yeah. Which,
nothing wrong with that, but actual tears.
Right, yeah. I mean, these are a slight bit exaggeration to actual tears. I feel like the blue streams. I feel like the blue streams are a bit more accurate in terms of how tears actually work. But
I guess.
But I don't know. It just works well with the sort of the aesthetic that they have going on with like cute girls.
Yes.
Doing cute stuff.
It actually had an aesthetic.
It did. It was a really lovely aesthetic. And I loved it. Like the colors when they were like in school, they were like nice and muted. But then the moment they're in Tokyo, you can see like lights and just like bright colors and like contrasting and just everything just changed, and you're like, oh, we're not in the same place anymore,
Yeah. And the blues when they're traveling on the bullet train.
Yeah, the backgrounds are just so gorgeous in this one. Like, I can't.
But it's not like Fairytail, where the backgrounds are gorgeous and everything else sucks.
Yeah, and just like the highlight on the bald man's head when they're
Oh yeah,
taking
that
a
was
picture
great.
of him.
That was great as well.
That was freaking hilarious.
And it's
Oh god.
funny.
It is. It's and they're not trying to do the cheap eye grab thing where they have like girls with big boobs, like they're not doing it. Um they at least that's not the butt of the whole thing. Like that's not the root of their motive essentially with this anime, like we
No,
saw in
God,
last
no.
in Fairytail where it was just like, oh, they're not in a beat scene, but let's just have Urza
Nothing.
wear almost nothing in a fight. Yeah, that sounds about right. That's how girls' armor works.
Fairy Tale sucks.
I think we spent a long time talking about that, James.
Yes. This is why we
But
watch this.
yeah, it's a great palate cleanser, James. It was a lot of
Good.
it was really nice, really soothing to watch too, especially after that
Yes.
chaos.
Yes.
Um,
It had tones too, Mariya.
it did. It really did.
It had
Um,
something.
the characters had personalities, which
That's
is
weird.
nice. Like they had very distinct personalities,
Hmm.
like with Kimari being this person, this kind of sheltered person who has the desire to sort of go out and explore, but just gets freaked out because she's by herself, and there's a lot of rational thought process going on where bad stuff can happen. Granted, it's a little amplified, or a little exaggerated, but those are genuine fears that a lot of people have, and some, especially those who are used to thinking things through.
Hmm.
Um, they have that rational thought process, and it sometimes gets in their way. Like they're not used to doing things that are impulsive, and you kind of see her be that way. And then we
Hmm.
have like Shirazi, the black haired one, who has this sort of ambition, and she's been told all her life that you can't do it, you're a child, or they won't let you go, you're a child, like, and she's just that one who's like, I'm gonna show all of these people who've told me that I can't do stuff, that I will show them that I can do it, and I will do it. And so she's like this very ambitious girl who's so focused and just has a plan, knows how to get it done. She will do it.
Hmm.
And then we don't see much of Hinata, the newer one, the one that we saw in the second episode, but like she's just this ball of energy, like, and she doesn't want to do it the way that everyone does it. She's not the one. She's the one. She's the road not taken type. And she not the traditional sort of child going through high school. She has her own path, and she knows that she's good, or she knows that she's smart, and she doesn't need like a high school certification, or just need to go to high school to prove that she's smart, or that she can take care of herself, essentially. And they all have these very, very distinct personalities, and you kind of get to see that dynamic between the three of them, and it's just so adorable to look at. It's just really, really cute.
Hmm. Yeah, you basically got most of what they're about
Right.
as in these two episodes. There's more, but
Mm-hmm.
you nailed their personalities pretty well
Mm-hmm.
after having only seen them for a few
For
minutes.
for a couple, yeah, for a few episodes, yeah.
Yeah, which is
and,
really
and
good writing.
exactly, that just shows as to how good the writing is, because you kind of get a glimpse of everything that these characters are, and you can kind of see what kind of character growth there's going to be, like you already
Hmm.
know what Kimari wants to do. She wants to actually be able to leave, like
Hmm.
whether or not whether she does it by herself or with some people, that's where it's heading. That's sort of the hero arc that's going here, although not a traditional kind of hero arc, but like the
Hmm.
the the protagonist arc, where protagonist has weakness, protagonist needs to get over weakness so as to get, achieve whatever she wants, whatever X goal that she wants to do. And that's like the positive arc that we hope to see, essentially. And then that's sort of like a typical archetype thing. And it's just so nicely done in like the first 2 episodes, like that I want to see it, like I want to watch more. And that's the whole point, like you watch a couple episodes and you're like, if after a couple episodes you're like, I don't even know where the show is going, like then the show has not done its job.
Yep. I mean, you pretty much know where the show is going from episode 1.
Yeah.
They're going to Antarctica.
Yep, they're going to Antarctica. Yep.
And if they don't, then that's a pretty boring show.
I mean, yeah. Obviously. It's a very boring yeah, just disappointing, I suppose. Like, they promise you Antarctica, but actually they just go to like a snow park.
Yeah, basically. Spoiler alert, they do actually get to Antarctica.
I hope so.
I won't tell you how.
Okay.
Because that's an interesting
Did they
part.
go as stowaways?
Maybe.
Oh, God.
Maybe they do.
Maybe they do. Maybe they don't.
Mm-hmm.
Are there snakes on their plane, James?
Are they monkey fighting snakes?
Oh, God.
Yeah. Probably one of my favorite pieces of animation is that running chase scene.
It is, yes.
It's just so fluid and fun, and just everything is clear. It's concise. Mm-hmm. You tell who's who, what's what.
Yep.
What's happening at all times. You're never confused.
Yeah, you're not just like, oh my gosh, what's going on? And like the camera's like shaking and you don't understand what's happening. And it's not like that. It's a very, and the thing about the chase scene, that I love the most is that it so accurately shows these 3 characters. Like, you have Shirazi who has this plan, but that if shit doesn't go according to her plan, she is going to freak out.
Right.
Which is kind of what you see when she sort of loses her shoe.
Yeah.
Like, you see her panic for a second, like she's like, oh shit, I lost my shoe, and then you have Kimari who's not here she's not here because of some solid plan or for some point of vengeance or whatever. Yeah. She's here because she wants to fulfill sort of a sort of personal goal, that she's here because she wants to be here. And she's here to help whoever else is sort of doing their thing. And yeah, so like she grabs her shoe because she understands that this isn't exactly her plan, but she's gonna help the best that she can, And then you have Hinata who splits away the first, and you can see that she has no plan.
No.
She's running and she's sprinting, and whatever she sees in front of her, she's willing to use it. So she's the one who, if the plan goes sideways, will be able to improvise. And will be able to sort of just be like, okay, everything is to shit now, but that doesn't mean we fail. There's a lot of stuff around us. We can figure out what to do next, Which
we see in that hilarious sequence where she's just sitting at the table.
Yeah, and she's sitting with like a couple of drunk girls, and they're just like, okay, bye.
She runs out there to say, bye, see ya.
It's so funny, and that's a good detail, like... she's just like sitting there and she's waiting because she knows it's not gonna work. She's like, I'm gonna try it anyway. And that's just the beauty. Like, the writing is so good. That shows that the writing or the direction is just so good with this show. Like, the characters are very consistent.
Right.
Even in a very high stakes situation.
And it's consistent in the subtext. as well,
Mm-hmm.
which is hard to do.
Right.
But probably my favorite part of the chase is when Shiraisi accidentally headbutts Kimari.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, she's probably really hurt,
Probably, yeah.
but she doesn't care. She keeps running.
Yeah.
And that is bizarre in a
Yeah, and
well no in a cute girls doing cute things series.
right,
Like,
right.
you can't have the girls getting hurt.
Oh my god. And then they just headbutt too. Like they just all like crash into each other and like fall into a pile. That has to be painful as heck.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
I've crashed into people constantly all the time because I'm always bounding around, and then I'm also very clumsy. So I've done it. I can attest to that from experience. It hurts like so much. Oh god. It's terrible for both parties. It really is.
Anyway, your clumsiness aside,
Hey, look, the people need to know.
I guess. But it shows that they are not putting these girls on a pedestal.
Right.
They're
right.
not perfect characters. Which
yeah,
is
and they're
really
allowed
refreshing.
to get hurt.
Yes, they're allowed to get hurt. It's really refreshing because usually, these girls are the embodiment of sweetness and kindness and love and all that garbage.
God.
And all they want to do is sew a quilt or whatever the fuck.
Oh god. They want to save the world with kindness, god damn it.
I mean, yeah, pretty much. I'll save the world with my stir fry. I don't know.
I'll save the world with my stir fry. Yikes.
Yeah.
And they don't follow like a any kind of like cliche roles either, especially this trio so far. Because usually you have sort of the character that you meet in the start and that is a protagonist of the show, and essentially she's always the leader,
Yes.
in shows like this. And then there's the one who's their best friend, who is kind of like the tomboy type. You don't have that in this one.
And then you've got the glasses girl who's meek and shy, and then you've got you got the tomboy. Who else do you got?
And then you got the one
girly girl.
Yeah, you got the girly girl who's like super stylish all the time, just like spends hours in front of the mirror when you're on a mission, and you're just like, we gotta go, girl, we gotta go. Oh, exactly. God.
But I mean, like, Kimari, she's our main character. She's not the leader.
She's not leading this.
She doesn't make decisions.
Yeah, she's not the one making the decisions. She's not the one with the plan. She's just going along with everyone, And it's nice to see a supporting character actually be the protagonist.
Right.
Because she is essentially the supporting character. She is supporting the one with the goal, the one with the mission, let's just say.
Right.
And we're not looking at this from Shirazi's perspective, which makes it so much more interesting because there's so much inner turmoil that's going on over there, which we don't get to see as the audience because we're looking at it from Kimari's standpoint. She is the focus of what's going on right now.
Right.
So you go home with Kimari, you don't go home with Shirazi, you don't go to work with Shirazi and see how she has to deal with this kind of bullying she faces or whatever mean things that she has to face. No, you get to hear it from her standpoint, which is very interesting, and it's a very interesting and smart choice from a writer's perspective, because now you have more content that you can dish out at different points because the audience doesn't know yet. Because you decided not to make them the protagonist.
Yeah. It would be a much more melodramatic series if we followed Shiraisi.
It would be, yes.
Yeah, you'd see her in her waking up, and it's just dark and dim in her house and empty. And then
Yeah.
she goes to school, gets bullied, goes to work, and then loses her money.
Yeah,
And then
oh
we have
my
to see her
god,
be
that would have just been
depressed
like
about
depressed
that.
about it, and like the whole scene in the bathroom stall, which we only see from the outside. She's obviously like probably kicking and punching at the door.
Yep.
Um and we only see it from Kimari's perspective, and she's just already this kind of like unsure character, who I diss her a lot
A
while we were
lot. Yeah, you
watching
did.
it. We were watching it a lot, like the commentary was going on in the background.
You called her a pussy.
I did. They don't need to know that, James.
Well, now they do.
Now they do. I did. It's not. I mean, it's because I was. This is more of a viewer's perspective, and this is what I would do. Like if I was watching it by myself, I would yell at the screen. I do that a lot.
Well, you are Indian.
Wow. I don't
What?
know how that's
I've been to
supposed
the
help.
movies with you guys.
That is true.
Shut up.
I do talk a lot, but this is more of a me problem. It's not a.
You told me
it's-
it was an Indian thing.
No, it's just me. It's just me and my brother were like that. It's not an Indian thing.
It's not? Oh, okay. I was
At least
given
not as far as
misinformation.
I know, because most of my friends they're very quiet in the movies, and I'm the one who's talking. But that's just me, and
People hate you in the movies.
they probably do. I got yelled at by people in the film, and it made me really sad afterwards. But it's fine.
It's fine.
It's fine.
You were talking about her.
Yes, I was. I was talking about Kimari. Yes.
Yes.
I don't know where I stopped.
Well, you called her a pussy.
Well, pardon my French. Yeah, and I mean that's just like I said, that's just me like in viewer mode and not like analyzing character mode, and mostly because I was her. And I would call myself that too now. And that's why I was so willing to diss her, is because I was dissing myself is great.
I see.
Yeah, so I was her.
I see.
But now I mean I was her again. Past tense. Not anymore. I've done enough bus stop hopping in my life to not be her anymore. So
Well, that's good.
it's great. Once you go live in a country where you can't speak the language and you have to like navigate public transport there, you can basically tackle anything.
I would believe that. It's so beautiful.
It is. It's just a very adorable show. Unfortunately, with shows like that, there's not really much you can say.
I
Like
think
we had
got
a lot to say about.
though.
We did. That's because the characters were deep, and there was stuff to analyze about them. Unlike with Fairytail, where the animation was just terrible. But we spent most of our time talking about that.
Yeah, we didn't really talk about the characters that much.
There wasn't anything about the characters to talk about, James.
Mariya, tell me Lucy's personality right now. Give me one personality trait about her.
Blonde damsel in distress.
She was never in distress.
She's always in distress.
Not during the episodes we watched, though.
Well, yeah, that's because she was barely in any of them. What did she do of any consequence in those episodes? Like, what did she do?
Well,
Except for being a crutch for Urza, like glorified crutch.
a glorified crutch. And she's our, like, protagonist viewpoint character.
Yeah, exactly.
Which, I mean, if you're gonna have one of those, and you also have... It doesn't really work, actually, in many shonen series. Do I have to explain what shonen means?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Shonen's just a demographic.
Okay.
It's young boys to teenage boys.
Uh-huh.
But in a action series like that,
Mm-hmm.
it doesn't really work to have a audience viewpoint character, but you also have the badass main character in Natsu,
Right, right.
because the audience viewpoint is always going to be left out
Uh-huh.
for the main character.
I mean, the thing is that if they wanted to make, they had a perfectly good excuse to make Lucy a again, this is where we're diversing back to Fairytail, because unfortunately it's that bad.
It's that
it
bad.
leaks into everything. But they had a way to do that. They say that she's a journalist, right? So you could have introduced that in the beginning and just be like, okay, she's just tagging along with these guys because she wants to write a good story or something. You could have had that audience viewpoint and not make her seem completely useless, because it would be her choice to not interfere because she can't, because this is not her job. Her job is to write about what's happening. But they don't do that because they're not smart people.
No. There's a podcast that I listen to that one of the guys hates Fairytale, but he reads it because why not?
Right.
They get to the final chapter, and Lucy is an award-winning journalist. And he yells... He just yells, when the hell was she ever a journalist?
Oh my god.
When did that ever come up?
And like I said, they could have established that from the beginning, and it would have made Lucy seem so much more coherent.
Yeah, instead of just a throwaway character.
Yeah, but we digress.
Yeah, we do digress.
We digress. Back to a place further than the universe.
Yeah.
These people had depth. They had their own personalities, which is nice. Yes. There were very few male characters.
Yes, there were not any main characters that were male.
Yeah, like her mom. She has a mom and she has a sister.
No dad.
Knows where the dad is.
Yeah, I think he's around, but I don't think he ever shows up.
Right.
Which is fine.
And then we have her friend in school who kind of urges her to actually go out.
Yes.
And then we have the teacher who is we have two teachers who were male.
Yep.
The old guy and then the one who smacks her on the head with a book.
Yep.
And then there's that one random guy in the corridor who was kind of like, what the hell is she doing when she's trying to like stalk, when Kimari is trying to like stalk Shirazi and try to find her and build up the courage to like be like, hey, so you dropped 1,000,000 yen, by the way.
Right. Let's talk about the facial expressions.
Yes.
Because they're all perfect, and I love them.
They're so good. One of the facial expressions that sticks out to me the most was her sort of, when they go see the boat.
Oh, yeah.
Her very, Shirazi's very manic sort of smile.
Manic, super excited, happy smile that just
kind
looks
of like
creepy.
Very creepy smile of someone who's been wanting to do something for a very long time and has finally gotten to do it.
Yep.
That or just someone who's been planning for something, plotting for it for ages, and it's just finally coming to fruition, and they're just like this wide and absurdly sort of curled smile.
Mm-hmm.
And it is so well done.
Yep.
It's literally just a few curves in that smile, like at the edge,
which they animate.
Yeah, which they animate, which is just, it's just probably a a couple centimeters more of longer and curved, but they just nailed it. They just nailed it. Like, you see her and you're like, I'm happy for you, but you have to stop because you're creeping me out, girl.
Yes.
And it's just and also when she walks out of the stall in the bathroom and she shows her the money.
Yeah.
And then and then she's just pissed, but then immediately the emotion turns and you're just like, oh, she's not pissed at her, she's freaking relieved.
Yeah. She shows emotion so strangely.
It's really weird, and it works well for someone. Like, it makes sense for her character to be a little different socially.
Yeah.
Not socially awkward, but just different, like, because she's just, in terms of social situations, she hasn't been received that well,
Yeah.
And so she probably avoids it. Just doing her thing and leaving, because if she stays long enough and people find out what she really wants to do, they'll just be like, "Hi, you crazy, go away," like, and so it makes sense that she has that sort of, just something that someone who's typically in social situations and not criticized for it would find a little absurd or just slightly creepy. But it's just so sweet.
Yes, it is.
They're just so nice. They're just so nicely done.
They're good girls.
They are. They really are.
All right, I want to make 2 points. Really quick. I feel bad for shitting on Fairytail by comparing this to that. Because Fairytail is kind of stuck in a different business model.
Right.
Where more anime nowadays are going with the seasonal model, where you just make 12 to 24 episodes of a series, and you can spend more time on production and animation.
Right.
Whereas Fairytail is make it until it's done. No breaks. Just keep going.
God.
Which is
the burnout must be real.
Yeah, it's a hellish existence. But other shows manage to look good in that model.
Right.
They don't look great, but the shows manage to actually put in artistic expression.
Right.
Through that model. So I don't think it's unfair to call Fairytail terrible.
Right.
Even if it does have to struggle under this terrible model. Whereas this one, it's just like, oh, we're just making 13 episodes. We can just spend however long we want making this look as beautiful as possible.
Right.
The other thing is that at the beginning of this, I said this is one of my favorite shows ever. And I mean that. You
stand by it?
Yes. It is a very influential... You misspelled... I was looking at our notes really out of the corner of my eye, and you misspelled further.
James, really? Is that what you want to bring up right now?
Yes. I just looked at it right now. I just looked out of the corner of my eye. It's like, Mariya, oh my god. Come on.
Leave me alone.
Okay. Anyway, as I was saying, this show is actually kind of a inspiration for me. And it kind of inspired me to make this, what we are doing now.
That is amazing.
Yes.
Elaborate.
That's pretty much it.
God.
It's a show about people following their dreams no matter what happens. And when you're like Kimari, it's very hard to do that, even if you really want to do something, deep down. But sometimes you just need something like this to be like, hey, you can do it.
Right.
No matter what it is.
Am I the Hinata in this situation? Can I be the Hinata, James?
Sure. There's no situation.
I mean, in your story, you're Kimari, but like also
No,
Shirazi. So
you're the bald guy on the train.
I have more hair than you do, James.
That I mean in spirit.
He doesn't even show up.
He shows up
I mean, he
in
does.
that one episode.
There's no spirit about it except for his very, very clean bald head.
He takes good care of that head.
Oh my gosh, he just like polishes it every morning.
Yep.
Just like till it's squeaky.
Yep.
God. That's hilarious.
Anyway, that's my story.
That's amazing.
Yes.
And I feel like the reason that this show is so relatable is because at some point everyone is Kimari,
Yes.
Everyone is. They just are. It's not a natural. And it's normal to like be afraid to start something new. Because you can tell like she's afraid to fail. And a lot of people are. Especially when at home that failure isn't well received, which is a lot of homes. There's very few people, at least as far as I know, for whom failing is okay, and you sort of learn that later on, that you don't have to be successful in everything, and that you will fail in some points at life, and it's okay. What matters is you get up and brush yourself off and keep moving. But Kimari kind of shows us that sort of initial thought process where you're like, if I screw up, then I'm just gonna fail, and I will never be able to try anything new again, which isn't true. Like she does sort of fail, because she leaves, she tries to go, but she can't. She's too scared. And so first attempt at going on a new journey has resulted in failure. But then she sees this opportunity and she's like, I'm going to go to Antarctica with you. Haven't left the city in my life, but we could do it.
Yep.
And yeah, no, I mean, I've been her. And I still am her in several occasions.
Yep.
The only difference is that you have to continue to be her for this to work, because eventually you can see she's trying to work her way through it, and you also have to work your way through it. And I think that's what makes this show beautiful, James.
Yep.
I'm going to give it 5 fingers.
Same.
No,
wait, I'm going to give it 10 fingers.
That's a lot of fingers to fit on a hand.
There are. Did you notice how many fingers they had?
They have 4 fingers.
Yep.
Yeah. They did, right?
Yes.
Yeah. As far as I remember, they had 4 fingers. I haven't really seen anime without all 4 fingers. Like, I've only seen that in like Western animation.
Yeah, they don't
like
really do that.
The cutting of corners, or in this case, fingers.
Astro Boy might do that. I'd have to look at it again. We should watch some of Tezuka's old animation.
We will. We have several months ahead of us,
Tezuka
James.
is, do you?
Nope.
Oh,
but we'll find out.
He's the god of anime.
Is he?
He's the grandfather of anime and the god of manga.
Ah, I see.
He is Japan's Walt Disney, basically.
Oh, I see. Interesting.
Yeah. Yes. That's not.
I know nothing about
people who hear that are going to be like, "Nah, you're an idiot." Nah, it's not true. I mean, it's not an accurate comparison, but
Right.
Walt Disney was a very different person to Tezuka.
Uh-huh.
But in terms of like cultural influence and what they did for a medium, they're pretty comparable.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, I was just clarifying.
Right.
But
well, we will be able to watch it, James. We have a whole schedule ahead of us.
We have so much stuff to do.
We do.
Yeah. But Anime April continues.
It does. What are we watching next, James?
I was going to ask you.
Oh, well, too late. I asked first, so now you have to answer. Ha!
We're going to dip our toes into another female-centric series.
Ooh.
Yes. This one has only one male in it.
Uh-huh.
And we are going to be exploring Japan's experimentation with CG
Okay.
in Land of the Lustrous.
Land of the Lustrous.
Yes.
I think you've fanboyed about this before, haven't you?
Maybe?
Like, to me?
Probably.
Okay. Cool.
Yep. Anything else?
No, not really. Go watch the show. We recommend it.
I highly recommend it.
Yep. We recommend it.
It's
Go
great.
watch it.
Go watch
It's
it.
great.
Watch
You
it
can
on
watch
Verve.
it on Verve.
Legally.
Legally, yes. Please watch it legally.
Or Crunchyroll.
And
whichever one
yeah.
you prefer.
Yep. And have a good night.
Yep. Bye.
Hey, James.
What?
Did you hear?
What?
Satan's opening his new theater in hell.
That's where we live.
And our listeners can join us for just $1.
That costs less than the Netflix subscription I steal.
So head over to patreon.com/chaoticsilly to join us for our exclusive podcast, Movie Night in Hell.
It's like Hell in a Cell, but with movies.
So join us for our screening of Lou Over the Wall in Hell.
Bring popcorn. No free refills.